Hey Leo, welcome to the Cosmic Jackal Tarot. I'm your host Mirage. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to your 2024 yearly forecast reading. All right, so I want to apologize. I have been taking a huge social media break. That included posting to YouTube because I just needed to get everything in my personal life together and didn't want to contaminate any of the readings further on. Looking back at like all the readings I've done, I'm like, yeah, like, I poured too much of my energy into that, and I just want to do it differently this year. So I have a candle burning for you guys. And I also have like a lot of story times on my blog. And you are the second sign to actually see this right here. Let me move it up just a little bit. Hi. So I have my vision board that's actually just pinned to my wall because I don't think there's a board big enough to stamp it to. And I'm really proud of it. I may add more to it, and there are some pieces I need to move around a little bit so that it's less, how it looks. Sorry, I'm shaking this, but like going like this, so yeah. And that's not all of it. That's just some things that I'm like, yeah, some of it might not even be done this year, but we're going to get to it. This is the beginning point. So 2024 is a prosperous year for all of us. But the biggest thing is change, and no longer settling for anything. We need to just shed old skin. Also, this is, once we have the Lunar New Year, it will be the year of the dragon. I'm not entirely sure which element. I really should have looked that up, but we're here now, so that's what it is. All right, so we're going to start off with your Mystical Oracle Shaman deck. A little flimmy. At least I'm not coughing as much. Just my throat gets like really gunky. I don't know. All right, so you have 20, flow. Some of you could have been born on the 20th of August. You might be on the cusp with Virgo. Let's see. Some of you could have been born on the 2nd. Maybe even the 10th. But flow talks about just letting things be. Leo, you're a sign that likes to control everything around you. That includes other people's reactions and words and how they tolerate things. I don't know. I'm not saying that all of you are like that, but I've met many a Leo that it's like everything has to be by the book with you guys. And that book was never really written by another person. It's just a book that you follow and you expect everybody else to be predictable. Which I feel like, especially as the king or queen of the zodiac, it's a little lazy, don't you think? Like, not wanting to sharpen up your skills to like have an actual conversation or to think outside of the box. I don't know, but like I said, I've cut off a few Leos in my life because of that. Like, they see something, let's say on social media, and they're like, oh, well, if nobody's abiding by that, then they're a terrible person. And it's like, fam, it's social media. Like, who makes this rule? You know how they have cancel culture and things like that. That's another reason I took a social media break. Not the biggest reason, but just living in this parasocial life where people are not allowed to have their own opinions and things like that. Otherwise, they get canceled and bullied and stalked, and sometimes even worse things happen. Like, it's so not necessary. And then to find that people actually do wish death and like ill intentions to said person. So if you're one of those people, just stop and then make sure to reset your thinking to understand that people are allowed to exist. They're allowed to be different. You might not have to agree with everything, and yes, there are some crappy people out there, but it's not up to you to judge everybody despite you having this huge sense of justice. Sure, but you know what, like, the universe handles people in their own way. You don't have to acknowledge everything. You don't have to address everything. You don't have to, go and try to retort or, what's the word? Like, I guess attack another person. Just let things be. Make sure that you're the one that's at peace at the end of the day. Don't let anybody else disturb you. That's what I'm getting at. But I'm not saying tolerate disrespect or anything. I'm just saying, like, hey, it's not that deep. So we're going to do your Moonology manifestation. You have full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. Full moon meaning this is getting to the ending stages of you learning a specific lesson, especially emotionally. But like I was just saying, yeah, make sure that you're not trying to force other people to agree with you or better yet, make sure that you're an agreeable person. Because some of y'all have like these ridiculous, what do you call it? Like methods to being dealt with. Like you have these beliefs that are very, I don't know. And some Leos don't even realize that they're actual hypocrites. Like, let's say, for example, you know, you don't like people who are racist, but you have like these racist beliefs against a specific race. Then when someone calls you out, I'm not racist, I just don't like this specific person. And then you list off like the number one thing. Oh, well, you know, because they this, they that. And then you're like, well, you know, if they weren't said race, like, you know, that I probably wouldn't have been so harsh on them. Like, nah, what the fuck? No, I like I said, I had to cut somebody off that was actually like that. And I'm like, wait, you want to be accepted in the world, but there's certain people you won't accept because of things they can't help? What the fuck? Well, they're the problem. No, I think the way that you're thinking is the problem. And hey, don't you know there's people that think just like that, you know, are that race and they don't like you either? Yeah, well, you know what, they shouldn't exist. And then it becomes a whole thing. And I'm like, yeah. And if I stay friends with you, that means that I'm accepting of it, which I'm not. So, like, you know, people gotta chill. So we're going to do the Cosmic Insights Tarot, or the Cosmic Tarot. I don't even know what its name is anymore, because it has basically two different names. One on the back of the cards and one on the packaging. But I don't even know where the packaging is sitting right now, so I'm going to let it go. But yeah. And we're going to do 12 cards, but again... Oh, wait, no, not again. I'm just talking to y'all like I'm talking to all the other signs. This reading is going to be kind of long because we're doing some of these cards for all 12 months of the year. And, you know, I want y'all to have a very thorough session with me because I've been gone for so long. So this is to make up for that. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So the first card you have is Health in Reverse. That's January. Some of you may not be paying attention to your health, or you may be avoiding dealing with it. Don't know why you would want to do that, but hey, you know what? To each his own. But if you're feeling like your health is taking a negative decline, please make sure to do something about that. Please take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself, obviously. In February, we have Manifest. Tell the universe exactly what you want. That's pretty straightforward. In February, some of you could just, you know, be contemplating a lot of things that you want. So for some, it could be in your love life because there's Valentine's Day at that time. But this could also just be, you know, you buckling down after January, after you've gotten your health together. And you're like, okay, you know, so after that disaster, what am I going to do? In March, we have Communicate. Compromise, forgive, work it out. If you've fallen out with a couple of people, or a couple of people have fallen out with you, might be time to reconcile. But it could also be maybe you're just ready to say what's on your mind. Maybe something hasn't been addressed yet and soon will be. Or it could just be maybe you're communicating your needs with another person, not necessarily out of a negative reaction or something. It could just be now it's time to talk about something. Now it's time to put a plan into action, and finally you have everything aligning. You just need to get a second opinion or just voice course of action. In April, we have No in Reverse. So what this tells me is you might at first get a rejection, and then later it comes around again. Or this could be someone giving mixed signals, someone that's not sure about something. Maybe it's you not being sure about something, but you also don't feel like it's going to work out. So again, communicate, manifest. For these things to work, you have to be honest with yourself. In May, we have Pregnancy. Someone's expecting. Now, if it's not you, it could be a partner. If it's not a partner, it could be someone close to you that might be pregnant, or it could be you just coming up with ideas if none of this is relevant. But be careful, because in June we have Gold Digger. they want your money being used. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be that they're after money. They might be after your resources, or you might come from a prestigious family or something like that. You might have connections that this person wants. This person could be trying to trap you too. You know, like, they might not want to actually be with you, but because, like, you guys are expecting a baby, they're just like, okay, so that's going to be what keeps this person around to take care of me. You know, just be careful. Please be careful. That's what I'm getting at. Oh boy. In July, we have sexuality in reverse. Some of you may just be going celibate, or, you know, you might not be engaging in those activities at this time, or some of you might be wanting to, but you're finding that you're not getting a lot of that. So I caution you, though, no pun intended, but like in August, you have caution. Find out more information. Don't overwork yourself. Be careful. Be very, very careful, because I do see like some other things going on in this reading. But overall, just like, you know, make sure that if you are engaging with certain people, that you guys are being safe. Because again, remember January, you had a health concern that seems pretty major. And then, like, you know, next thing you know, in the next, let's see, I want to say 7 months, next thing you know, yeah, you here you are again, like, seeing red flags, or might be dealing with the same thing. I don't know, but there's definitely something popping out at you that screams danger and trying to tell you to not test it. So in September, you have fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's see. You could be dealing with another fire sign around that time, or you're dealing with yourself. Some of you could just be taking more action into your life. That could be another thing, like just taking on fire sign energy, of course, Leo. But again, you could also be dealing with another fire sign. In October, we have water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But Scorpio season does happen around Halloween, so like late October. And some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio by then, or some other type of water sign, or maybe this is just a time for a water sign emotions and how they deal with them. Like, some of you could be taking this time to heal. Some of you could be taking this time to be nurturing. You might be opening up emotionally, but I do see, like, the card after this is open up your heart, and this is in November. It will help you attract more love. I feel like some of you do want a relationship. You do want to be with someone that they bring out a gentleness in you, whoever this is, or whatever this is. But I feel like some of you, Leo, you're not really someone that likes to be seen as an emotional person, and you like to keep your emotions to yourself most of the time. But when you do have those outbursts, like, everything just kind of pours out all at once. So again, like, you wanting to open up your heart, I feel like some of you are just tired of having the back and forth with someone, or someone that's just playing with you. It's so crazy, because I know my ex was dealing with a Leo, and this is pretty much what they were dealing with, and she ended up getting pregnant, but it's kind of unknown whether or not that's his kid or not. I've seen pictures of that kid, and I'm like, fam, I don't know, you know. And I'm like, bruh, like, you weren't able to get anybody else pregnant for like over 10 years, so like, what the fuck is this? I don't know, it's weird. But they did break it off. Maybe they did get back together again. I don't really know. It's not my business. I don't care. But, you know, I would be weirded out if I'm doing a reading for that person, you know. But let's see. December, we have Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That is Capricorn season in late December, actually. So possibly around Christmas, some of you could be getting money. Some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn or another Earth sign. Or better yet, you could be moving into something more stable, or getting a promotion at work, or finding a job that pays you more. There's all kinds of possibilities with that one. So, all right, we're going to hop into another deck. Just a second. Let me just... I have like this hair that's stuck in these cards, and then I have another hair that's trying to poke me in my eye. Like, what the fuck? Today I'm gonna like do some skincare, but oh boy. I don't know. I haven't really dolled up in a long time. So now I'm just like, yeah, let me just take some time to myself after I'm done with all these readings. And I'm going to take a break. And hopefully within the next week, you guys will see things that are to take place in Aquarius season. Oof. Okay. So we're going to pull this one card from the Mermaid Tarot deck to do the overall theme of the reading. You have the Eight of Wands. A lot of you are charging into victory or doing a lot of preparations to conquer something, complete something. Some of you are starting something new and you aim to finish it. Probably, you know, in a quick manner, but it is what it is. But yeah, I do see a lot of success pouring out or shooting out, because I mean, like, these wands are being shot out from a volcano. So it's like anything that you aim for, you're not going to miss the target. And even if you do, you have a lot more backup. So the world better be prepared. That's what I'm hearing. All right, so we're going to do another 12 card spread with the Tarot of the Divine, or the Divine Tarot. I think it's Tarot of the Divine. And then we're going to clarify with the Modern Spellcasters deck, and then end this with the Super Attractor deck. So yeah. But yeah, Leo, I really do hope you had a good holiday season. I hope things went well for you. You know, happy holidays. Still, I mean, like, I know tomorrow, recording this on Sunday, but I know tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. So, you know, hopefully you, and if you have children, or hopefully it's a time where you get paid time off to not be at work, you know. Enjoy your time and be safe. That's what I want to say. Okay, we got 6 more to go. Dang, like when the cards fell, it just like totally messed everything up here. It was like kind of nice and neat. Now I'm like, but. All right, there we go. Let's keep going. Sometimes I hate when it gives me clusters like that, because I'll be picking up certain cards. I'm like, ew. And I'm like, well, I can't reshuffle it now. I already saw it. And we got space for it, so I guess that's meant for you. Ow. Whoa, that's the first time, like, the deck has actually hit me in my eye. What the hell was that about? Kind of hurt a little bit. I'm trying to make space for all the cards. Okay. That'll do. All right. So, in the very beginning, in January, we have the Chariot, which is good. I mean, you know, this is Cancer energy, but I see a lot of things coming forward, a lot of wish fulfillment, a lot of blessings you asked for. They're finally being overnighted to your door at this time. You might be finding yourself a little bit overwhelmed, like, whoa, there's all these good things, there's all these opportunities. Where do I start? Well, take it bit by bit. Like, whatever comes first, deal with that. And then, like, you know, try to make a plan to handle the small things first, and then, like, you know, work your way up to the things that are a little bit more difficult or time consuming. In February, we have the World in reverse. If you were planning to travel or move to a, I don't know, like, you're trying to move forward with something in your life, you know, trying to go to a new cycle or end an old one, whatever, the universe says not yet. Or better yet, like, hey, I need you to sit where you are right now, because now is not the time. Don't rush into anything, because sometimes things happen or don't happen for a reason. And most of the time is for your betterment, or for the better of you, for the best for you, whatever. You know what I mean. In March, you had the Queen of Coins in reverse. Beware of someone trying to come to your door saying, oh, I'm pregnant, or it's not that it's funny. It's just the image I had in my head, like, you're opening your door with your coffee, you know, and you're like, who is this? And it's like someone you probably haven't talked to in like a long time, and they're talking about I'm pregnant. Like, no. Or someone that needs money. This could be, you know, feminine energy that's not very good with finances, or they have a hard time staying in one place. Like, they can never stay in one home. Like, they're always getting kicked out, or they can't keep a job. This is someone that's just like financially unlucky, or like they just don't have their shit together, basically. So like, yeah, beware of someone trying to put that energy on you, or beware that you're not coming off like that. Just be careful, you know. In April, you have the Hangman, Pisces energy, trying to see things from a different perspective. Don't hang up there too long, but you know, it is good to take a moment to see, you know, am I allowing this? Why am I allowing this? You know, what can I learn from this? What's going on? You know, what's my lesson in this? What's my place in all this? Or better yet, to see if you have one at all. Maybe just sometimes things happen to distract you and you're like, man, I don't have time for that. It's up to you. In, what is this? May, you have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Could be a water sign, a younger water sign coming in to be emotionally manipulative. And just, you know, they're a knight is not a king. They are trying to fight for success. They are not successful. So this is a person that has a lot of growing up to do. Could be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio perhaps. But at the end of the day, like I said, you already know what to expect with them. And they could actually be significantly younger. It could be one of your children that is just acting out and, you know, trying to get attention. But even if it's not, it does, this can be someone that's like attention seeking and trying to be emotionally manipulative, like try to play on your heartstrings, maybe to give them another chance, to let them go outside and play, whatever. Like, no. In June, you have the Nine of Cups. A lot of emotional fulfillment. I feel like you and maybe whoever you're trying to be with, you're just so happy right now at this time. But something is definitely missing, or something is amiss. This can also be someone that is like just so enamored that they're distracted with by the fact that something is, you know, this isn't a complete set. So it's like someone could check off all of your boxes, but the one thing that you actually need from this person has yet to be seen. Like you're wanting to trust, like, you know, oh, we'll grow into it or whatever. But again, this could be someone that this isn't their first rodeo. They know exactly how to play a person into their hands, and they'll only stick around up until that person has, you know, discovered the truth or called them out, and then they're on to the next, because maybe they're not emotionally accountable for things. But maybe not. I mean, I don't want the worst to happen to you. I don't want to speak that into existence. All I'm saying is like the number 9 is one short of a complete set. So something is definitely missing, but it's like you're taking the time to be happy now and, you know, grateful or be in gratitude. Like, well, I'll worry about all that other stuff later, but that's usually when the red flags are easily missed because we're wearing rose-colored glasses. So in July, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Some of you are feeling like you hit the lottery, definitely, but it's time for things to move. It's time for you to go to a new cycle in your life and be happy and just, what is it like? Not wallow, but some of you deserve to bask and swim in the very things that you've been waiting on. And this Wheel of Fortune is also someone who's getting ready to travel. This could be like Sagittarius energy, but overall, I just feel like some of you finally are like, oh my God, finally, you know, this finally happened after all the hard work I put in. It's, you know, now you're overjoyed and everything. So, and it might have felt like everything was stuck for the longest time, but you know, things are finally working in your favor, and that's good. In August, you have the Ace of Wands. Perfect, because this is around your birthday section. For some of you, could have been born in August, and some of you could have been born in late July. Yeah, a lot of opportunity. Some of you might be getting a little passionate, but you know, for real, I do see that a lot of you are taking the next step into something that is powerful, something that is the new stages of something that is going to be a big step. Like this could be you guys going from a job to a career or advancing in your career. Some of you may be tying the knot. If it's not that you're getting married, you might just be in a relationship with someone that you weren't sure you were going to get with, and then boom, it happens. Yay. Could be with another fire sign if that's the case. In September, we have the Fool. This is someone who sets out on a new journey. Again, starting a new cycle, especially with that Wheel of Fortune. But you're seeing a new perspective, and you're throwing caution into the wind. You don't really care. Like, you see how she's just out, and at any point, like, a person could see her. And she's looking at that castle up there. She wants to see a new world. She wants something new and exciting. And, you know, she might leave everything that she knows behind just to go explore it, not understanding that there's dangers to this. But whatever happens, I mean, she'd rather die trying than die, like, you know, never knowing. I mean, not saying you gotta die, but, like, you get me. Sometimes we'd rather just see how good it can get rather than, like, focusing on how bad it could potentially get. So, in, what is this? October, you have the 8 of Wands in reverse. Don't shoot your mouth off. Don't count your ducks before they've hatched. Don't, like, just be careful trying to be hasty about something. Like, again, especially, like, if you're doing something that has to do with investments or something like that, definitely do not jump into it without knowing how bad the risk can be. Because I feel like a lot of you have had a real huge stroke of luck and then, boom, something shoots you out of the sky. So be very careful, you know, before you do anything in that year. That month. All right. In November, you have the moon in reverse. The moon in reverse is, well, the moon is Pisces, but in reverse, this is someone who is staying clouded to something. Like, they don't want to look at the finer details. They don't want to see the red flags. This is someone that just continues to be in the dark. You could probably have people warning you, telling you things and whatever, and you're like, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, or, oh, well, I'm going to still give it another chance, or I'm gonna see for myself. Like, be careful with that energy. Because in December, you have the Tower. Ooh. Sound like my niece fell. But yeah, the Tower, that's where everything comes crumbling down. It doesn't always have to be bad. It just could mean, like, things that have been going and working out in the past, the way that you used to think about things, your beliefs. It's time to let all that shit crumble. Because for a lot of you, it has been serving you nothing but isolation. It's been, you know, keeping you stuck, not moving forward with anything. So when this decides to crumble, you have to let it crumble. Like, but make sure you're not letting it collapse on you. It might be time to just kind of take some steps back and, like, really observe everything that's been going on thus far. And then getting to a point where you accept, hey, I'm not a bad person. Or, hey, well, you know, that wasn't my best work, but that doesn't mean, like, that's the end result of who I am. Like, I know plenty of Leo that thinks they're a bad person and just doesn't care how they talk to people or how they treat people or, you know, what they say when they're not getting their way and whatever. If that's you, Leo, like, in December, there's finally a time where you're like, hey, you know what? I had a good year, but next year I'm not taking this bullshit with me, because this is what got me here in the first place. And I thought, like, maybe if I dealt with it in a different way or, you know, blah, 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 like, things would be different. But now you know, like, hey, you got to take accountability. You got to make an effort to become a better person. Do it for you, not because you were told. Like, especially if you notice people don't want to be around you or they avoid you or they've been telling you, like, what the problem is. And you're like, oh, well, I have one friend. I mean, we're not friends anymore, but, you know, they like to insult people and, you know, belittle them. And then, you know, say, like, these really crazy things on the internet and stalk, like, borderline stalking people. Or even if someone has, like, you know, they're too messed up to consent, this person has actually tried to take advantage of them when they're passed out. And it's like, what? You know, then taking things personal when said person gets in a relationship and then calls them, like, all these belittling things because they're not giving them a chance. Or they feel deep down their partner is the reason that they're not allowed to be around them anymore. And it's like, no, you treat that person like absolute shit. Like, even their partner is trying to be nice and you still say such, like, cruel things, like, you know, always wishing, like, the worst on their relationships or wanting them to quit their job and, you know, screw society. So, like, it's just one of those things. Again, I'm not saying for you it's that extreme. I don't know you, probably, but just be careful of the thoughts you think and the words that you say. Because, you know, again, you might not be keeping score, but the universe sure is. And if you really do care about people and don't want to be left behind or isolated or, you know, basically canceled, be mindful of the things that come out your mouth or, you know, how you're entertaining certain energies. You know, I might not be happy with who my friends choose or who someone I have a crush on chooses if they don't choose me. But I'm not wishing them, you know, unsuccessful things. You know, do I get a little chuckle when I'm like, oh yeah, you thought that person would be better? Who doesn't? But like, never, oh, I hope that shit, you know, fails so you can come back. Like, no, what? First of all, my head is not that big. Second, if someone decides to keep choosing other people, like, you gotta take the hint, okay? I mean, maybe one day you might be their pick, but like, do you really want to wait around? Do you really want to be that person? No. So just keep working on you. Keep being gentle with yourself. And then that's how you attract love. That's how you attract friends. But you got to be that for yourself first. And I told that person so much to a point where it's like they're just not hearing it. They want to be stuck in their little idolizations that the internet is the real world and we're all stupid for not being attached to it. So like, you know, eventually you leave people where they are because they don't want better for themselves. They want everybody else to be stuck with them too. Whatever. But yeah. All right, my lion cubs. Let me see here. Let me get one more. All right. Let me get a photo so that you'll have your cover picture. I'm starting to remember this more and more, but some signs I did forget, and I'm like, ooh. But this will be something I do from now on. It's fun. Okay. So, in January, you have the Three of Wands in reverse over the Chariot. Some of you know doing all that talking and you know, trying to manifest without doing anything, but just sending out to the universe, I want a partner, I want a nice car, I want a better job, da, 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 da. You're sending all these messages out, not knowing that the messages are coming in, but this is in reverse. So some of you have probably learned, like, maybe I don't have to do all that talking and stuff. It's so long as, you know, I'm available for the change will eventually find me. But it's, how do you not become available, you might be asking? When you try to distract yourself with drinking, doing drugs, you know, getting involved with people that aren't good for you, trying to settle into jobs that do not have your best interest, you can't grow in them, like they don't pay you enough to even show up, but they want to overwork you like a dog. When you are mean to yourself and you say these things like, oh, who would want to be with me? I wouldn't want to be with me. Or, oh my God, like, I can't believe I did that. You know, oh, why would such and such even be into me? Or, you know, oh, I don't like my body, I'm so fat. Or when you do things and say things like that, opportunity passes you up, because it's like, why would I give you something and you're not even grateful for what you already have? Like, why are you so mean to yourself? Why do you act like that? So hell no, I'm not giving you nothing. Think of the universe like Santa Claus. If you're bad, especially to yourself, like, no, you can't have nothing nice, because you got a lot of nice things around you, but you choose not to look at them. Like, what the fuck? So why would I give you more of what you don't appreciate? So be careful of that. In February, you have the Four of Wands in reverse over the World in reverse. Yeah, I think you were trying to go forward with something emotionally sound. Like, you were hoping like someone, maybe you tried to ask somebody to be in a relationship and they rejected you. And then you probably have planned a whole thing where, like, if they say yes, I'm going to take them out on a trip, and, you know, I'm going to take them out for Valentine's Day and stuff. And then, but here's the thing, you got to get the yes first, you know? And some of you probably did go forward and, like, you know, I got their full government name, and, you know, I got tickets, I got this, I got that. But at the end of the day, like, you did all this for what? And I'm not saying that these efforts aren't appreciated, but, like, do them for someone that's, you know, they've proven to you that they're around to stay, that they can appreciate stuff. Because sometimes we get so overzealous about trying to prove we're a good pick that a person can see our hand and they're like, oh, but some people will know before you do. That's all you can offer me. And you're throwing it all so soon. Like, why? And you also got to keep in mind, some people have been hurt. Like, they've been love bombed before by people before you, and then once they've been, like, to a point where they can let their guard down, here comes all the bullshit with said person, you know? So take things slow, but also take rejection with grace, because again, keep in mind that you might not be this person's interest. They might not be into you that way. So, like, just let it go. It is what it is. In March, you have the Five of Cups in reverse over the Queen of Coins in reverse. you know what it feels like, or you have been doing it, to where you were so busy focused on what you lost or what you don't have that you don't see what's in front of you. Like, you still have something that you can take and move on from, you know. But again, like I said, this person might be coming in and sabotaging shit. It could be you doing it. But yeah, this is someone who, they don't keep anything for very long. They're always trying to show off like what they do have, but it's a facade. It's more so like this person is you know, they're trying to butter you up to giving them a chance and to take this new journey with them. But again, you know, you're also someone that's just seeing like what you don't have. But this could also really just be someone doing this to you, like, you know, trying to distract you from the fact that in their past relationships they could have been the problem. If not relationships, just in general, in friendships, even just as they show up to themselves, for themselves, it's like, they got a long journey ahead of them, whoever that is. So in April, you have the moon over the Hanged Man. 2 Pisces cards. You want to see things from a different perspective, because you know it's going to give you that illumination to looking at things that are hidden in the dark. Some of you are getting better at detecting things, like paying attention to even the smallest of details. And Leo, that's something that you're good at. Like, you see things before most other people around you. Like, you notice when things are off, when the vibes are off, when someone's just doing something and you're like, what the fuck? Why would anybody do that? Or, you know, like something is just amiss and you call it out. Like, you're very aggressive about that. But, you know, it is what it is. But again, I feel like some of you are just taking in a lot of Pisces energy, because like you, Pisces is very, you know, focused on what's around them. They have to be, because, you know, as a fish, you can only use the water and like movement around you and then the vibrations that happen throughout the water to see what's going on. Plus, fish have like this, well, you've seen like fish vision with the, you know, the cameras that have like that weird scope looking thing. But you see how like that's literally how a fish sees things. So you see how you can see pretty much everything. Meanwhile, like, it just feels like everything is further than it is, you know. With Pisces, they don't really get a lot of reaction time. So it's either they get slippery or they get caught. And with you, Leo, you actually have claws and teeth. So you know how to wriggle your way out of a situation no matter how bad it gets. Pisces does too, but like, you know, that's just one thing that you guys do have in common. So in May, we have King of Wands over the Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. You don't have time for this childish battling energy because you're too busy standing on grown shit. You're very focused on what's in front of you. You're very keen on keeping up appearances, so you will handle things with grace. Meanwhile, it only takes a couple of words to let somebody know that you're not playing. So rather than engaging in anything toxic, you're like, all right, you can play if you want to. I'm sorry, if I said that was April, that's actually May, because next is June, and we have the Two of Swords over the Nine of Cups. Oh boy. One of you is getting ready to cut the other off because something is missing. It's really just as simple as that. But it could be like when you're trying to make a compromise or trying to have a talk about like, hey, I would like more of this or less of that. You know, it gets kind of mouthy, and then you're like, oh, well, if it's going to take all that for you to just consider or to just like at least try to respect how I feel, then no, I don't want to do this anymore. They could be doing that with you. In July, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse over the Wheel of Fortune. Funny Duddy is something that popped in my head. I don't know why when I saw this in reverse, but yeah, someone is, remember you had the gold digger, like I think that was in June. It kind of pops up again, but like a month later, where you got your Wheel of Fortune and you're happy and doing the dance and whatever, but then here comes somebody that's just like, funny actually, you have the King and the Queen and they're both in reverse in one reading, just 2 different decks. But you know, this person was in their feminine energy expecting to be provided for, and now they're trying to act like, well, I got my money together, I got my shit together, I got somewhere I can go. And they're trying to distract you from this. They're trying to get you to feel bad about how you just said things to them or how you set boundaries and whatever. And they do it right as this happens, and you're just like, damn, bro, you it's one thing to be disrespectful, but you gotta come over and purposely go out of your way to rain on my parade too. How sad is that? What the fuck? How did you even find out I was getting this? I didn't tell you. That type of shit. Like, they're too into what you're doing and trying to make it about them, and you've understood that, so you're like, okay, you know, remember how you got the Ace of Wands in August, like around your time for your birthday or whatever, and then you have the Eight of Cups. Ooh, the Eight of Cups is a person who usually is, you know, neatly aligning their energy, their emotions, someone that nurtures themselves, is apologetic to themselves, someone who has learned a lesson. They pack up and they head towards the light, which is that moon. But here's the funny thing. The moon is like half full, and there's a cup that's spilled, and it's like he's trying to understand what spilled that cup, whereas these are empty, and it's unclear whether or not that has something in it. And I think behind him, no, that's a different card. Sorry, I was about to say behind him, I think there's a river, but actually he's just in a forest somewhere. So maybe he stumbled up on this, and then maybe he spilled that. I don't know, but this is someone that is just trying to see how good things can get. They're walking towards what serves them, walking towards the light usually. So I don't think you guys are going to stick around long enough to understand like why things happen the way they did. Just acknowledging, oh, okay, people act like that sometimes, and I don't know why, but I don't care either. And then you just leave it alone. All right. So in September, you have the Six of Swords in reverse over the Fool. Rather than trying to go somewhere that makes you feel safe and collected, like some of you may have had a habit of like going back to a parent when things don't work out with a partner, or when you move out and they're like, oh, well, I had some financial troubles, and now you're taking a stand to, you know what, whether it works out or not, I'm going to go for it. This is a dream. This is something that I said I was going to do just this year. You could just be moving forward and throwing caution to the wind, because you see how like behind her there's someone that's guiding her, but also like she's surrounded by swords, so she's trying to pray and feel protected. She's literally like leaving something and going into something new. It's supposed to be something reassuring, or at least a hopeful chance to something that's not toxic, but she's not even sure. Or better yet, she's just trying to prepare for the worst, because you don't know how bad the journey is. But these are two different energies. This is someone who doesn't care and they're gonna throw caution to the wind. This is someone who, they can't help it. They've been through so much. They'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. And it being in reverse, yeah, it's like you thought to be caution, and sometimes you do have a moment where you're like, I learned from the past. Let me just keep this in mind. Like, this is someone that's taking everything with a grain of salt, but still not letting anything stop them. In October, Nine of Pentacles in reverse over the Eight of Wands in reverse. Oh, yeah. Whew. Your foundation isn't ready, or better yet, it's not very sound. And some of you are very unaware that you have had, you know, these backup resources. If only you'd look a little bit closer. This is someone who is like talking to source or talking to a spirit guide about what to do next, how to move forward, or how to gain. And spirit is literally telling them, fam, you've had it all along. You're literally sitting on it. You know how that saying, you're literally sitting on a gold mine? Yeah, some of you don't even know that. You probably know, but you feel like it's not going to get you where you need to get to. And then you have, you know, this is a Pisces thing with the two, these are two fish, right? No. But that is a Pisces symbol back there. So there is usually some healing and things involved where a person is just like emotionally distraught or stuck. But both of these are in reverse. So if your plans aren't together, your finances aren't together, your foundation, which could be your home, your career, are not stable, like, do not move forward with anything until you figure these things out, because these are crucial to what happens moving forward. But also, like, you want to just be in a sound place before you continue with anything else in life. In November, you have the Knight of Pentacles over the Moon in reverse. So rather than letting all these things that are coming out into the light affect you and bring you down, you still want to charge into something new. It's not, and then to you, it's like, it's not that big of a deal, but like, I mean, look, she's riding on a squirrel and she's got this really big shield. There's someone who's overcompensating. So And it being a pentacle, they're the slowest moving knight. So it's like you're taking your time with something. Maybe you're taking your time to get the pieces aligned, but you also don't want people to see you in a light where you seem very vulnerable. So, and it happens again, because in December you have the Tower, but over that Tower you have the Nine of Wands. This is someone that is very overprotective, very paranoid. You know, they're prepared for the worst, but at the same time, do you see anything like a shadow or anything coming towards her? So it's like, what is she just in fear of? Be very careful that you're not consuming substances, uncontrolled substances or anything. Definitely, if you need therapy, please seek that at this time. And then this being around the holidays, I feel like some of you are probably guarded because like you don't want to carry whatever happened this year into next year. And that's for like a good bit of you. Like you've realized you've let too much slide, that maybe you're not trusting in relationships anymore, in friendships. Maybe you are really reading the fine print and everything when it comes to, you know, job, finances. Like you cannot throw caution to the wind anymore. You've learned your lesson. And so with that, you don't want these, you know, sinking feelings of negativity, anguish, and all those things to carry into next year. And that's understandable, you know? So we're almost done. We just got one more card to go, but I just like to, now I'm in the habit of like cleaning up everything before I start a new reading, but also before I end one. So that way it's just less prep time before I have to turn the camera back on or before I start editing, which actually I have to edit yours and Cancer's. And then once the both of y'all's are done, then I start with Libra and end with Scorpio, and that will basically end all the readings I've ever had to do. These were kind of delayed though, because like I did pinch a nerve. I don't know if you guys saw, like I did put something in my community tab about like what the delay was, because I meant to have these readings out 2 days earlier, but yeah, and then my cycle started, so that was another thing. But yeah, just needed that 2-3 day rest period. And you know, I still have like something going on with my shoulder, but it's not as bad. Like the more I move around, the less tense it gets. But yeah, it shit hurt, bro. Like even laying down, I'm like, ah! I'm like yelling and stuff. I'm like, bro, I thought y'all were kidding about your 30s being painful. What the fuck? I'm almost 35, bro. Hell. I don't want to think about 36 and beyond. That sounds scary right now. Okay, so you have the universe powerfully responds the instant I realigned with love. And love is not always a romantic type of love for another person. Sometimes love is the love you give to yourself. And Leo, sometimes when it comes to loving yourself, you can be the harshest critic. And I don't know why. You can't be with someone if you don't love yourself. And I know some people will be like, how can you say that? Because I love this person, I don't love myself at all. That's still an avoidance maneuver. That's still you looking to have peace elsewhere but within yourself. So acknowledging that, like, hey, maybe you don't like everything about yourself and that's normal, but to say that you hate yourself, y'all gotta get help for that. That's not normal. That's, matter of fact, like that being a mental illness, that's not something that needs to be openly accepted. Like we can accept, hey, okay, there's a problem and we can help you heal at this time, but for someone to just kind of stoop in this you know, this phase of, oh my God, I'm a horrible person, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that, I don't have this, I don't have that, like that, you gotta do something about that, especially with that feather and it's sparkly and stuff. This is someone, the feather represents innocence. It also represents somebody that's trying to heal, and it also represents freedom. So free yourself, or at least attempt to, from anything that keeps you stuck stagnant or keeps you in a low vibration. Because again, like maybe you could be feeling happiness when you're with your partner, but it's not because of your partner you feel happiness. It's because of what you allow. Remember that. And that's another thing that I've learned through taking all that time to be by myself. But I don't mean to belittle anybody that is actually dealing with mental illness or anything. I'm just saying, hey, if you want to change and you want to be happy, you are responsible for that, nobody else. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in, Leo. I love you so much. If this happened to resonate Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Give that community tab some love. If it didn't, totally okay. Maybe it's just meant for another Leo or somebody with Leo in their chart. But do not force the shoe to fit. If it doesn't fit, that's fine. It's not for you. Leave it for someone else. If you would like to follow me on other forms of social media, all my links and other ways to support the channel are in the description box below. So give that a view if you haven't already. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next few videos. Take care, and I'll see you. Bye.